Hello my fellow book lovers and welcome to today's video in which I talk about my biggest book pet peeves. Because although I love books so very much, sometimes, and specifically if you saw my previous video when reorganizing my bookshelves, I find things that I find really annoying about books. Now of course these are just very little pet peeve things, so just the little things that I notice, and these in no way, shape or form affect the way that I love books and stories, just as a quick disclaimer. But let's get into a few of my personal pet peeves, and of course if you have any or if you share any of these, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to know if I'm alone in this or if there's more of you who also have these. Now the first one is actually related to book series. If you get a book series that consists of multiple books, there are some of the things that I get really bothered by. They could be related to the height of your books, so you have like a few books that are a specific height and then one of them is slightly taller or slightly smaller, and then it looks very awkward on your shelf, and sometimes you can hide it with a book sleeve, but sometimes it looks just a little bit off. Same goes with the coloring of your books. I have a book series with orange, like auburn type color, and you can really nicely see them as a whole together. Now if you don't look very closely you don't really notice it, but some of them have like a darker shade, a lighter shade, some of them are identically the same, and it's not because of the aging of the books. Let me just quickly tell you that as well. It's because they actually got printed differently, the colors are off, and it doesn't look pretty. The same if they go for a white shade and then one of the covers is white, one is like slightly off-white on the yellowish tone, like eggshell type color, and then the other one is like more white with a bluish tone. Like, it drives me insane when they don't match. And then of course there is the spine design not matching in a series, where they change up the typography or the way that the author's name and then the book's title are written down. Like, can you please, for the love of book lovers, stay consistent? It looks way nicer on the shelf. And the thing is also with some of these books, I purposefully hide them on my top or lowest shelf because you wouldn't see them as much, and also because I want my center of my bookcase to be like the very pretty things, so they will always be hidden on my personal bookshelf because it really annoys me a lot. The next pet peeve is especially related to when I buy books and they have stickers on them. I get it that sometimes they have promotions in bookstores where it's 2+1, especially on pocket books, but there's also like the stickers that tell you like, this comes from a Netflix movie or this comes from a series, and I now have a special collector's edition of a book with a sticker on it, and I'm not sure how to get it off because I don't want to damage my special collector's edition of the book, so it drives me nuts. Like, don't stick stickers directly on your book, please, or make sure that they're easily removable, because some of the stickers, like I buy paperbacks every now and then for me to take on holiday, and sometimes those have like very easily removable stickers that don't really hold on for dear life to the book, but then you have stickers like the one on the special edition collector's book. That one is so hard to remove, and like when you start fidgeting at it, you will see that like edges of the book below are coming undone, and like, no, just to all the bookstores around here, like, don't stick stickers on your books, please. Another pet peeve that I have that is mainly related to the inside of the book, so the way it's written. First of all, when the typing is so small, like they compressed it so much to fit within a set book frame or shape or size, I don't know, like it's very hard to read. But then my actual pet peeve is overdoing the italics. A certain book series that I was reading, J. Kristoff's Nevernight series, I actually love the book once I've read it, but I couldn't get into the actual physical book because the writing was already small, and then you have entire chapters or pages that are written in italic, and it drives me nuts. So what I did for that particular book is I actually also bought it digitally and read it on my e-reader, so I could adjust the font size to make it a bit bigger so I could actually read what was written on the paper, because it was just very difficult. And I also have this whenever in books there is a lot of dialogue, that they sometimes put the dialogues in italic so you can see the difference between dialogue and then the actual like notes or written text. Like, it's not necessary to me, like just skip the italics, we don't need them. The next one is also related to the actual inside content of a book. and it's typos. And with typos, this could be a variety of things that I found in books that I've recently read. Some of the books had words that were completely miswritten, like words and then letters were mixed up within the words, and it's like someone could have proofread this and got it out for you. So I like put sticky tabs in the books wherever I find those. I'm not at a point yet that I actually submit them to the company that's printing the book or the publisher or whatever. And also something that I've been noticing quite often lately is the first bit of the book seems very heavily read and edited and like perfect. And then when you get near the end of the book, it gets more sloppy. Especially when you can clearly tell that it is just like a new line, a new sentence. There should be a capital. The previous one had a dot at the end of it. And this is something that I especially notice with like newer releases, with authors that maybe don't have a huge following yet or aren't highly known yet. And it's more specifically towards the end of the books. Like the start of the book, like the first half of the book is mostly perfect. And then once you get more and more to the end, like that's where I start to notice like a lot of small errors within the books. Not that this makes me upset of reading or anything, but it's just like, I wish they would have put at least as much effort into the end of the book as the start of the book. And with this comes the next pet peeve, which is also within the same book series, cover changes. And I don't mean cover changes for a special edition, I mean cover changes, but like significant cover changes within a series. When they have like a very nice design at first, and then for the next book they change it up a little bit, and then for the third book they change it up even more. And once you put them together, they don't even look like a coherent series anymore. And this especially happens with books that are written over a very large period of time, or also whenever an author isn't very known at the start of launching their series, then gains into popularity, and then they start doing the cover changes. Like, please stay a little bit more consistent. And then my final pet peeve is the one that I've been talking most about with friends, and it is movie and series adaptations to books that don't follow them exactly. Again, I will not be discussing Harry Potter a lot on my channel, but whenever I was young, I read the Harry Potter books every time they were released, and then the movies started coming out a little bit later, and the first one I was kind of like, okay, they're missing a few things here and there, but nothing major. And then the second one arrived, it was like, this wasn't in the book, this isn't correct. And at the third movie, I really had to stop watching them because I got so fed up with them missing complete parts of the storyline, reinventing things so they would match the movies better. Like, no, if you're gonna make a movie about a book, you have it, you can follow it. It is a made script for you, just follow it, please. Same thing with Lord of the Rings. We have had The Hobbit movie series that was loosely based upon the books, in my opinion, because we're gonna say loosely, because suddenly new characters arrive, new plot lines arrive, new romances emerge from it, and I'm like, why? This was such a good basis to begin with. If you would have just stuck with it the way it was, it would have been perfect. Or you could release a new series, a new fantasy series, loosely based on the Lord of the Rings universe, but then just do your own thing. But then please don't call it The Hobbit if you're not gonna actually follow The Hobbit. Like, no. And the thing is, I'm actually actively working on doing a video about this, about The Witcher, because I have seen the series The Witcher and I really enjoyed it. Apparently my next step is going to be games, so I'm going to play the video games The Witcher and then I'm going to read the books, so I can compare all three of them to each other and see which one I liked the most, because right now I really love the series, but I don't have anything to compare it to, so I would love to be able to compare it to then the games and of course also the books. So these are some of my personal book pet peeves. Of course, if you have other ones or the same ones, you can always share your opinion with me in the comment section down below. I would love to know what are your biggest book pet peeves and which ones are okay, which ones can you live with, and which ones really get under your skin. Because for me personally, the movie adaptations or series adaptations to books is like, that one really gets me, and I just plainly stop watching movies or stop watching series if they don't follow the books, because I love the book so much and I just want them to follow it. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. If you want, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make weekly videos about everything related to the fantasy universe, and I would love to have you for every single one of them. See you very soon. Bye!